what you're doing.
No, well, you brought it up.
I'm not going to say abruptly anything, okay? Listen, there are 3 classifications of gunshot wounds to the spine. I'm type 3, which means that the bullet is lodged in my intervertebral disc space. Now, type 3 injuries are further subdivided into A, spinal injury without perforation of abdominal viscera, and B, spinal lesions with perforation of abdominal organs. Now, thankfully, I'm type A, but it's no secret that I'm on meds for my injury, and I never should have been behind the wheel of a car that night. Josie!
You know, I didn't mean to upset you by that.
I used to be treated like I was a hero, and then they start talking about me like I'm trailer trash. But that's what this show is about. It's about rebirth.
You're listening to The Night Before, a movie podcast. Each episode, we find a unique place in the city and share a drink and our thoughts about the movie we watched the night before. This is Lee, and I am joined, as always, by my husband, Jesse.
Hey, we gotta talk.
We gotta talk.
We're back at Common Dialect. Our last episode was here.
Yes.
That's fine. We're not facing each other, are we?
Let's face each other.
This was like so impromptu setup.
So impromptu that I have just come from an exercise class, yoga class, and I am not ready to be on camera, but you know what?
Yeah, our
It's okay.
the makeup crew had the day off. Normally we book the makeup crew.
And clothing crew. But it's okay. I'm going with it. I'm okay.
Oh, I don't have my phone. Yeah, I was like,
I'm
on my
okay
phone.
with it. But we got to talk about this film. We
Dive
watched
right
last
into
night.
it. Vox Lux.
It was my pick. You found it, but I wanted
Yeah, no,
to
I was
watch
interested in it because Natalie Portman and Jude Law.
Well, should we say where we are and what we're drinking first?
Well, we are at Common Dialect. I said that where we filmed our last episode.
Oh.
But what are we drinking?
We're drinking, I think it's called Pelican Squad. It's a seltzer, and it's pineapple, coconut, and something.
Lime.
I don't
No,
think
I think
that's
so, it's
right,
lime.
but
Yeah.
okay. I don't think it's lime, but maybe it is.
We put an asterisk what the ingredients are.
And it's so good. It's like drinking pineapple juice.
Yeah.
But it's so hot outside, so if you see us sweating,
That's the thing. We're in
you
an
can't even drink a
uncomfortable
beer. You have to drink a
situation.
seltzer.
But
It's so hot.
We have to. But maybe that's appropriate. I don't know which was more enjoyable, this movie or this temperature.
I'm okay with the heat, but I know I'm sweating.
Yeah.
Oh. Did you just diss the movie right off the bat?
No.
Okay.
No, so you were. I was flipping around the old internet machine, and I saw this film pop up on one of the streaming services we have, and I was like, "Oh, not Bradley Cooper, Jude Law,
Natalie
Portman, and Christopher Abbott,
and Willem Dafoe.
and narration of Willem Dafoe."
And it's your goal to watch as much
Well, we're skewing the numbers
cinema
this year.
that Willem Dafoe is in as
For
possible.
the end of our top 5, bottom 5, our most watched actor will be Willem
But he's
Dafoe.
actually not in the movie; just narrates parts of the movie.
Yeah.
But I was intrigued, A, by the concept, B, by the trailer was good, and C, just by Natalie Portman in general, because I like her. It's a fly.
Yeah, she does stuff.
She does different
like
stuff.
she was in Annihilation recently and other things. She does movies, but you don't seem to see her as much.
I like
You have
her
to be
in
paying
general.
attention.
Yeah, I really like her as an actress.
Yeah, Black Swans, Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
Right. Which we'll get to that. I had some Black Swan vibes by the end of this.
Yeah. In a way, yeah.
Yeah, no, but like loose association.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I thought for the title of this video was probably like, we need to talk about Vox Lux.
Vox Lux.
Yeah. Which, I mean, okay, we'll don't jump all over the place. Even getting to the title, which not 100%. You just had a fly in your drink. Intense. It likes the seltzer so much as well. Free, liberated.
So
okay.
sweet. Okay.
No, so the
drink it
movie's
anyway.
told in like 4 parts, do we want to say? There's a prelude,
4?
and then there's 3 parts.
Yeah, I guess.
I more see 3 parts, but
I know, but it breaks it in. It says prelude,
Oh.
part 1 Genesis, part 2 Regenesis. And wasn't
I
there a part
missed
3?
some of that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But
It's
I'm
sad-
gonna say for me,
But
the
let's say this real
movie
quick,
was-
because I think it's a film that slipped by a lot of folks. If it slipped by us back
It
in
was 2006.
2016, I thought it was 18.
18. You're right.
Um,
It definitely slipped by. I don't even remember hearing about
a
it.
young girl who survives a school shooting
School shooting.
writes a song about the experience, and eventually
performs it at the memorial.
but
for
eventually becomes a pop star. Like, as they keep telling you,
which only
can sell out a 30,000 stadium show.
only in this day and age could that happen because of YouTube, the internet, streaming, like people sharing
Yeah,
stuff.
I guess so.
Really. Oh, except that a producer or somebody was there at the memorial. I don't know what they
So,
call
but that's the
them.
premise of the story,
Yeah.
and it's told roughly, like very broadly, right around the era of the school shooting.
In 9/11.
Okay, yeah, but I'm saying when the school shooting happened, it's told in that part when she's that
Oh,
age,
yeah.
and then 30 years later at the not the end of the career of her singer, but just when she's just this singing icon.
Right.
But it's just told in those 2 parts. Like here's the inception of it all happening.
Basically like
Here's
a
30 years later.
20-year span.
Yeah.
From when she's 15, which
Yeah.
is when the school shooting happens. She's in high school until she's in her early
She's
to
31.
mid-30s. Yeah,
It's
early
like a
30s.
40-something-year-old Natalie Portman playing a 31-year-old.
Well, she looks 31.
She doesn't look 31. She looks older than 31.
It's
She
true.
looks older than the actress playing her older sister.
That's so true. I
Right.
noticed that. Yeah. I did notice that. I like the actress that played her older sister, and she is recognizable in other things we've seen.
Yeah. All right, so what are you going to say about this movie, Vox Lux?
I was going to start with, in general,
So I
like...
have questions.
Okay. I am probably, like, in the middle with this movie. There were things I really liked about it,
Yeah.
and then there was a lot of things wrong with it.
Then Natalie Portman came on screen.
Even though every review I've read, people love it.
Well, no,
But-
it doesn't worry about other people.
I'm not
People
worried
come
about
to the night before for the hot night before
that.
takes.
I know. But, so
The
I...
husband and wife reflections the day after.
I feel like I liked... So the actress that played her as a 15-year-old was also in Killing of a Sacred Deer. I read
Yes,
that.
she was. She was.
And I liked...
And she was great in that.
Yeah, she was great in Vox Lux.
Yeah.
That period of the movie, which is actually like almost a whole hour of the movie.
It was the first hour. The movie's 2 hours. So it was like the first hour.
Was really good.
She also plays the daughter later.
Yes, which
So
that's
she's-
confusing.
So she's in
That
the
was
whole
really
movie.
confusing.
Yeah,
to
but
me.
I went with it.
Because I was like, is this like her envisioning
No, you thought for a minute
herself?
we're like watching like a David Lynch film
Yes.
or something. And I'm
I
like,
don't,
no, no,
I
no,
did
no.
not like that they used the same actress for her daughter later in the movie. That did not make sense to me. But whatever. Did they do that because she's envisioning her daughter as herself? I don't know. Like, I didn't understand the psychology behind that. Seemed like a bad directorial choice.
Well, I'll say this from certain angles, and I don't have. We were filming on my phone, and we were just like, "Oh, let's talk about this." We didn't look up her name, the actress's name, who plays the younger self.
I
Is it like
did.
Samantha? No.
I did look it up.
But
or
what?
Just read about it.
Yeah,
but-
we can get her name if you want. But what I was gonna say was,
Yes, I'm listening.
I know.
Just looking it up.
she's really good across the board, like in the film. Like she shines.
She's really great.
Even as the daughter later on when she plays, like she has a new
Yes.
role when she's playing.
Yeah, she is. She's
what's
really
what's
good.
her name?
Um,
Just so we can
her
focus on the
name.
conversation.
Sorry,
I mean, the way.
Rafi Cassidy.
Yes, Rafael Cassidy.
Rafi
Who's
Cassidy.
killing a sacred deer. So she's really good. And the movie, which starts with her story is compelling, and like
The
she does a
school
great
shooting thing is-
job. But as becoming not the reluctant pop star, but she's like the pops. She has some like artistic sensibility. She kind of knows what she wants, but she plays well that like the horror behind her eyes that she's seen.
Mm-hmm.
That
She's like goth pop.
yeah, but being disappointed, there's some like hauntingness in her music,
She has
in
trauma.
her look. Yeah,
She has trauma.
but
And her sister is really some of the creativity behind her as well.
Yeah,
Her
of course,
sister
yeah.
kind of like propels her, is her supporter, is her caretaker, is all these things in the movie. And, helps her write music, helps her write songs, whatever.
Yeah. So she's good. The performance is really, really good.
Really good. Yeah, I liked it.
And I even did like the decision of having her play the daughter the second half of the film, right? Because you're right. You could, if you want to dig into it a little and say, oh, it's offering the perspective of her younger self looking at her older self, right? Like not recognizing,
I have to look at it that way because
Yeah.
I think it's a weird choice to do
not
that.
recognizing who you've become,
Yeah.
that you've lost yourself in all this.
And there your innocent self is right in front of you, like your daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who has maintained a strong relationship with
With your
sister, her aunt,
is what she used
and
to
it's
have.
what she lost upon like crossing over into
Stardom.
pop stardom and just kind of losing herself in the
What's important in life.
well, not even though it's important in life, in the negativity or just the artificialness of all the music stuff, and just I don't know. So I thought her
Well,
performance was really good.
The focus on herself,
Yeah.
primarily. Or nothing else is important, even to the point that she kind of put her daughter off to be raised by her sister.
Yeah.
And then she lost touch with her relationship with her sister, and like the whole concept of being a pop star, being in the eye, requires you to be self-absorbed because you can't, in some way, maintain that lifestyle without everything being about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's that like kind of I think the last really good scene in the movie is when she's with that older musician who I guess really turns out to be the father of her child.
Oh. Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's the scene where she's just like laying down and she does a little monologue about how
You mean when she's a child still?
when she's still a pop like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
first
yeah,
half
yeah.
of the movie, the last
She's
good
with
scene.
and he's like coming in and out of. He's like a drug addict. He's
Yeah,
like
but
a
she
popper.
saw him play at a show.
Yeah,
And she
and
does
they
this
got
monologue and she's laying there and she's like, the person who shot up my school, like listen to your kind of music.
Yeah, and then she says, "That's why I like pop music because it's not something you really have to think about."
There's something you have to think about.
There's nothing you have to think about.
People just feel good. And that was really like the
just
last,
feel
in my opinion, like good scene. That was a really good scene of the movie. And
And it's creepy because it's a 15-year-old girl
yes,
laying in bed with an older
man, yeah, which you learn later,
He's at least over
they get
20.
is what he gets
Her pregnant.
pregnant, and that's her daughter's father.
But then he's not around.
Yeah. They mention him later in the thing. So that was really good. Unfortunately, I think we get to a little bit. Then very shortly after that, you get to see her as Natalie Portman 15 or so years later.
As a 31-year-old.
And it is rather jarring.
It's jarring.
Um,
But I can't figure out, like, it's so jarring that I'm like, did they not even, like, sequence this movie together? Like, this doesn't even seem like the same person. Or is that purposeful in that, like, see how much she's detached from her old self? That she's not even the same person.
no,
Like,
no, I can see how she's not. Yeah, she's so detached from not the same person anymore. But it was just something was off. Was Natalie Portman's performance good? Yeah, she was good. But like you even said, like when did she get a New York accent? Like all of a
Yeah,
sudden she's like I'm in New York. Like she's
yeah, she has
like,
this strong New York accent that
like-
she
like-
didn't have
like
as
she's
a
doing
15-year-old.
a sketch of coffee talk.
Yes. I was like, this is distracting.
Talk amongst yourselves.
her accent was distracting.
I know.
Because A, it wasn't there before.
The
and
state
B,
of
it was like over exaggerated almost.
the current state of pop music is neither pop nor music. Discuss amongst yourselves.
Yeah. It was too much. I was like, is this how
So,
she's going to talk the whole
If
time?
you don't
or-
have the comparison of either other's performance, like the 15-year-old self and the 31-year-old self, they work fine independently.
Yes.
But and so part of me is like, all right, nobody wanted, and maybe the director didn't want them to do it either. I don't know. But neither one wanted to take lead on who's going to be the foundation of this character, right?
Right.
Is it going to be the young girl who has, I mean, she has a subtle, low-key performance, but that's her style.
Mm-hmm.
Very powerful. Or you're going to have the Natalie Portman, kind of more over-the-top, erratic, anxious type behavior performance. And it seemed like neither one wanted to emulate the other.
The other.
Or maybe they were told not to, or maybe they were told to,
Be completely
or maybe because the
different.
way, like you said, it was filmed, maybe neither was
One
really,
part was filmed with the girl, and then Natalie
yeah.
Portman, it was a whole different
they didn't see
thing.
the other performances.
Except when she was there with her mother as,
It's true,
as the
but-
daughter.
yeah. So I think what early on I was going to say when we were starting looking up her name, when you're like, maybe it was even miscast, there were various times from certain angles, they do look similar.
No, they look.
They share facial
They
features.
share that like thin, kind of mousy face.
Though Natalie
look.
Portman is much shorter, it feels.
Much shorter.
Because a lot of the wide shots, I felt like, why do so many like far away wide shots of Natalie Portman? Because you realize, oh, she's a smaller person. She's short.
Yeah.
And the other girl is rather tall.
Yeah, and if you're tall and a little, I mean, she's tiny at 15.
Yeah.
Like petite body
But she's
size,
tall and
but
lanky.
She's
Because
tall
remember
and
when she's doing the
lanky, and
ballerina
Natalie
dance?
Portman is not tall and lanky.
No.
She's thin and petite, but she's not tall and lanky.
So some of that took me out of it. And like I said
The
earlier,
accent took me out of it.
the
That
accent,
took me out of it.
and because Willem Dafoe's narration says, now at 31 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I mean, I didn't look at Natalie Portman's age at the time. I'm like, but she's not 31. She's older than 31 at this point. And she
Yeah.
looks older than the woman playing her older sister later
And
on.
maybe that's because at that point she's led a hard life.
I know, you
say,
could come
like,
up with the things.
people look older.
Or it's because Natalie Portman signed on to do the movie and you make it work.
Because it's Natalie Portman. Yeah.
But I think also, don't say she's 31. Say 15 years later, 17 years later.
Or she's 38.
No,
39.
no, you don't say her
closer to
age.
40.
You just say 10 years later, 15 years later.
Yeah.
Don't let us do that
Because
math.
31, you're like, 31?
No, they were rather specific with age throughout the movie at times. Like, oh, she's 14 right now. Oh,
And don't
she's
get me
31.
wrong, Natalie Portman is gorgeous.
No, of course. No, I'm not saying anything. You know, I liked her
But
like,
she doesn't look 31.
pop star life. You know, they were setting her up like,
And I don't think you want to look 31 if you're in
like-
your 40s.
yeah, like the extreme
Maybe
pop
some
star, Lady Gaga, extreme makeup.
Yeah.
I thought that worked for her character.
So I think we saw this in the credits. Sia
Yeah.
was the inspiration for the pop
Well, no, she was a
stardom.
producer on it.
Yeah, but she also designed the look.
I know. I hope she didn't design the music stuff
She did.
because I'll say if we
did.
want to get into the gripes, the music. Here's my thought. In a movie like this, when I know, and maybe it's saying something about it, but I know this might not be Sia's intent. So, obviously, one of the themes underneath there is like kind of the shallowness of pop music, right? And that maybe people like initially liked her character and her songs more because of the story and the tragedy versus the actual music, right?
First, yeah. She's an inspiration for people.
Yeah, but I'm saying
She
what the
has
point of this
neck
movie.
thing on, 'cause she's shot in her neck.
I
And
know.
she's she's kind of paralyzed, and she
No,
learns
I
to
know.
use her body again.
Yeah,
so
learns
she
to
always
reload.
wears
I
something
know,
around her
I know.
neck.
But my
So
point is
the
about
music could be
okay,
inspiration.
yeah. But my point about the music is, especially a movie that ends, I think, with about 15 plus minutes of a musical performance.
a long musical performance.
There's not one song that's her character song. That's what's her name? Celeste? Not one song that is memorable, or I would even say is good.
No, but I think that was the point.
That's what I'm saying. Is the point saying pop music is vapid and shallow, and that it doesn't have to be good to be popular? But none of the music was good. Or there was no catchy refrain that you're like, okay, like she had the like hologram song when she was 15. It was supposed to be like her first big hit. And you're like, is this a song? Because she just keeps saying I over again.
Yeah, I don't know. No, the songs weren't good. I think.
Like so there wasn't that there wasn't that anthem of here's her like high school massacre song anthem, right?
I wasn't even looking at that last part.
But I'm saying, but for a movie about a music performer, shouldn't music be at somewhat good?
Yeah, no, it wasn't good. And that is said in a lot of reviews as well. Like the soundtrack, the music.
Like it was almost,
not good.
I mean, I won't say almost, I will say it was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad.
But my takeaway from the last performance, that long, drawn out, like,
Poorly
we're
choreographed.
watching a concert.
Even poorly filmed, and a way to try to make it look like there were 30,000 people in there.
Sweat's dripping down.
Yeah, it's hot. It's sweaty.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that
I'm so hot.
somewhat
right now.
boring sequence at the end?
It was boring. My thoughts were, because right before she goes out to perform,
Yeah, she's out of her mind.
she's out of
wasted.
her mind, wasted.
On
She's been
drugs.
up all night doing drugs
Yeah.
with her
We haven't talked about Jude Law yet.
agent, basically.
It's her
He's
manager,
her
yeah.
manager, agent. They have a
Her,
They have
her pedophile agent. Go ahead.
her pedophile agent who she sleeps with for drugs,
Yeah, yeah.
basically, so that he gets her what she wants. And so they stay up all night having sex, doing drugs, whatever. So she can barely walk onto the set and whatnot. And then she basically comes alive.
Yeah, I
and-
get it. Yeah.
And does this long performance.
Yeah, she
and
can do the performance.
my takeaway from that was, this is what keeps her going. This is what keeps her alive. Like, she's in it. Like, she's not, like, she doesn't know any other way to live. Nothing else brings her back to life, like performing and doing what she's doing. Like, even though it's mundane and not, like, whatever, she likes the attention. She doesn't exist without it because she's doing drugs, having sex with her agent. She doesn't even have a relationship. She has no relationship basically with her daughter. She has no relationship with her sister. Her life is just kind of completely meaningless. Yet, even though she's about to fall on the ground, she can come to life and do this concert. And that is really all that exists in her life.
Yeah, yeah.
So she can do that because she's blocked everything else, because it's kind of like a fairy tale.
Yeah.
She doesn't deal with real life well, but she can perform and be the center of attention.
No, yeah, I got all that.
That's kind of what I took
But I
away
felt that
from
was kind of like
last
the
part.
cliche take.
Cliche.
I don't know. Yeah. Like, oh, come live when you're perform.
But
No,
I think it was cliche, and that was the takeaway. Don't you think?
no, I think that's the only thing, and that's why her sister and daughter, like, though at first looking just like blankly and like not cheering in the crowd, and then they just start like cheering at the end too. Like, okay, we get it.
Well, she's not going to
she's just a
She's
character.
not done.
Well, she's just
this
a
is
character.
Who she is.
Um,
She's become that character.
but here's the thing. I feel that's just like, it's a movie that kind of meandered until it found that answer at the very end. It felt like.
I mean, there's
'cause-
definitely like deep points to the movie, but it's
No, but what
just-
are they? It felt like somebody who wanted to say deep things but didn't know how to say them. Like, there's an interesting running narrative of violent attacks and terrorism in the movie of the school shooting.
Yeah, and then the beach.
A brief mention of 9/11 and the beach massacre, where people wearing a mask of hers
So that's a thread.
who massacre a lot of people. So like, yeah, it seems whenever she creates things or does things, it's surrounded by massacres, right? So that's an interesting parallel: pop music with terrorism and massacre. But I felt it was never developed or explored.
It wasn't developed enough. Yeah.
And
So,
this
yeah,
idea of her even admitting,
the parallel is good. It just wasn't brought to fruition.
So it's like, oh, I have this cool idea. What if we had this pop music that was born out of tragedy and that continues to be marred by tragedy? That is an interesting story about
because
what it.
also her life is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's an interesting story. Is the
into
person
tragedy.
who's carried along with that wave. But I felt it just didn't do a good job of
Bringing it into fruition.
of melding it better.
Yeah, I agree.
I thought on paper it's a good idea,
Yeah,
but
they didn't bring it together well.
Yeah, so that was my issue with it. I was just like, because
I agree. Like, I stayed awake during the whole movie, which is pretty phenomenal for
there
me
are
these
parts I
days.
was checking out. I'm like, I'm taking them now.
You definitely checked out.
took a nap.
You took a nap,
Yeah,
and it's usually me. So
just
it
checking my
kept
time.
my attention because I enjoyed the subject matter, but yeah, I was bothered by the same things you were bothered by, and I watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
And you didn't.
I saw most of it. It was
You
like a
saw
20-minute chunk.
75% of it.
Yeah, that I was just like, I can take a break here.
Yeah.
Because it really kind of just meanders a bit in the middle.
Yeah. And it's, it's creep. The Jude Law thing is creepy.
Oh, so that was the other thing. A movie that, like, everybody's, like, pretty much deplorable. Like, Jude Law's character is a predatory music producer. The whole movie? Yeah, but you know what I mean? It's like he meets these girls as young kids.
Mhm.
And then,
Once the sister's out of the picture, he takes.
yeah,
it
but
the
he
other
even has
part.
sex with the sister, too.
Oh, I don't remember that part.
Yeah, that was one of the turning points of the movie. That's when Willem Dafoe's narration, who I felt was added to try to give this story some cohesion.
Yeah.
Well, let's get Willem Dafoe to narrate it. He'll tell us what we need to be seeing.
Remember that?
Yeah, she busts into the room to tell her sister that like September 11th had happened. And what was her September 11th?
Yes.
Was when she saw her sister had sex with Jude Law, the manager.
Yes.
So she too had just been marred, like her own personal tragedy, right?
Right.
And that's when she said, "Oh, from that point on, she like kind of turned away from her sister."
Right. I do remember
At that tragedy,
yeah.
right? So it's the power of tragedy to separate and unite people.
Mm-hmm.
Part of that. Like I said, some of that's, like I said, neat ideas. I just felt sometimes execution,
Yeah.
which is a shame because I thought direction-wise, the first 15 minutes of this movie, like
It was really good.
shot well, edited well, the cinematography was well.
It's almost like they had like a different
Right?
crew.
Well, even like a
Towards the
different
end of the
movie idea
movie.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like they started shooting one movie
Yeah.
and they ended shooting a different movie.
Yeah.
That's how it felt. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
But
They were
it
good.
was, it was a worthy watch. I mean,
Worthy watch.
I think it was a
Wow,
worthy
okay,
watch.
it's a new one.
I'm
It's
glad
another
we
one.
watched it to be able to
A worthy
analyze
watch.
it. They all can't be great. I'll
They-
watch anything with Natalie Portman.
No, me too.
Good or bad. You can't be all winners.
But I
She
will.
just-
Yeah.
You can't be all winners.
Yeah, I didn't love it that much.
I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was kind of 50-50 with it.
If we were doing yay or nay, this would probably get an A for me. Oh, definitely would get an A, not probably. If we were doing yay or nay.
I would have to put it in the middle. I couldn't nay it and I couldn't yay it. What's the middle word for
There
nay
is no
or
middle.
yay? Yeah, we got to
If
come
you
up
can't,
with
if
a
you can't
middle
yay
word.
it, it's a nay.
Nay?
No, they're all yays or nays.
Nay, may, or yay?
No, yeah.
That's a middle yay.
Okay.
You don't get my joke.
I do. I'm just not entertaining it because
Okay.
it has to be black or white.
Okay.
1 or 0. Yay or nay.
Well, it's a nay. It's not a great. but it's, I didn't feel like it was a waste of time watching it.
All right, since we got like just a couple minutes, we've been doing this lately,
Oh my God.
or since our last episode,
We're catching up.
some of our catch-ups. Rapid fire, yay or nays.
Rapid fire, yay or nay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll try to remember them.
Okay. I don't even remember what we watched, so go.
I know. Yay or
Oh,
nay?
wait, I watched something.
No, but
Go
things
ahead.
we have to both watch.
Okay.
On a movie.
Oh, okay.
That's how it works.
You didn't watch it. You're right. Beef. That
We
was
could
what it
do. I know we saw Donnie Darko.
was. Nay.
Nay.
I don't
wow,
like- I didn't
the
like it.
critics. Here, I say a yay for Donnie Darko.
I was not into that movie.
Wow. Okay. Yay for Donnie Darko. Nay. All right. We'll go to one. I think maybe we can get on the same page. Angel. It was a Tubi classic.
Nay.
Speaking of 15-year-olds and all that,
15-year-old prostitute.
15-year-old prostitute who has to be a sex worker. The current phrase.
During the day, private school girl.
Private
It almost
school girl.
sounds like a pornography.
I know, it really does. No, but it came out in
A
like
porno.
what, early 80s. She was we learned her parents, she has no parents. And she's like,
Nay.
to earn her tuition,
That's too
she has to be a
creepy.
prostitute. But it's a fascinating film. It's a yay for me for sure. On Tubi, free. You instantly said yay. Your gut reaction when I said Angel, you said yay.
I said nay.
Oh, nay.
I
Ouch.
definitely instantly said nay.
All right, 2 yays for me.
All right, next.
Man, Angel, a nay.
Nay.
Oh.
Sorry.
All right, the Richard Gere film.
Yay.
All right, we don't even have to say the title. What is
Yes.
that? Arbitrage?
Richard Gere, Susan Sarandon,
Yeah.
Arbitrage.
It's like arbitration, but arbitrage. We'll have to look up arbitrage.
Arbitrage.
Yeah, like another. I
Arbitrage.
think that was like another
Oh, that was
2016,
yay.
18
That was
film.
good.
It's your typical rich white man gets in trouble. How can I get out of this? Film.
I liked it.
But it was still pretty good. It was a good little thriller. You don't see much these days.
You can't go wrong with Richard Gere and Susan Sarandon.
Yeah. So it was a yay for me as well.
Definitely.
Another Tubi classic. It was a Tubi.
To be classic.
And the final Tubi
I don't know
film.
what you call it classic. It was in like what? When was it?
It was like 2016, maybe
yeah,
14,
like
something
Richard
like that.
Gere is still old in that movie. Not old, but
But no, yeah, he commits a crime. He's
they're
rich
both
enough.
like in their 50s.
He's rich enough to get out of it, but squirm a bit during the whole movie.
Yeah.
And then the final one is the Jaws-inspired bear movie, Grizzly, from the 1970s.
I'm going to go for a yay for
Good.
that.
Finally, we got a yay. Grizzly's a yay for
Something
me as well.
bear.
It was
What?
just called Grizzly.
Oh, Grizzly.
It was
Yeah.
about a grizzly in the woods killing people,
Yeah.
much like a shark in the water.
I enjoyed that movie.
It was really good.
Yeah, especially knowing it was Jaws inspired.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I didn't know that, and we started watching
And I
it, and
said
I was
something,
like,
and you're like-
"No," I was like, "This is kind of like Jaws," and you're like,
Yeah.
"This is the Jaws
It
inspired
was meant to rip off Jaws.
ripoff."
Yeah.
I liked that. That was good,
No,
even though it was kind of bloody and
yeah, it might be a hot take, but I think I like Grizzly more than I like Jaws.
for sure.
Hot take.
Because you don't have to deal with all the boobs and bikinis.
Is there
and-
boobs and bikinis in Jaws? I mean, I know there's
Yes.
bikinis.
There's running on the beach
Okay.
with lots of boobs and bikinis,
Yeah.
and that's what captivates America
Okay.
apparently. So Grizzly didn't do as well
No.
because there's not boobs and bikinis.
Yeah.
And running with boobs and bikinis.
I'd highly recommend Grizzly. All right, so big question then. Do you rec? Someone's like, what should I watch tonight? Vox Lux or Grizzly? Where's your recommendation?
Grizzly.
All right, and let's cheers to that.
Grizzly. We have nothing to cheers.
All right. Bye.
Cheers. Bye. You have to drink.